doing one thing to pay taxes, to build roads and help the homeless. And the phony right wing always focuses in on the welfare to dependent mothers and mothers with dependent children. They always focus in on a very small part of it. If you look at the $12.8 trillion spent, it's about 1 to 30. So, we're talking about $12+ trillion for the bankers and then a few $100 billion for the people. And then with that $100 billion, $200 billion or so that go to the people, there's all these strings attached to it and all this expanding federal control. Here we go. Back with Thom Hartmann.
34 minutes past the hour. Thom Hartmann here with you, and we're simulcasting with Alex Jones. I am the notorious liberal. He is the paleo-conservative. Alex, you here?
Yes, I am. It's good to be here with you. Very exciting. Let's go to some of your phone calls.
Okay, we'll alternate them. By the way, your phone number for your callers?
Oh, I hadn't thought to take calls while we're doing this. Sure, it's 1-800-259-9231, 1-800-259-9231, and I will go ahead and punch up my call screen.
Okay, great. And people can. We'll take some of my calls. We'll take some of your calls. We'll see what happens here.
Tom, this is really fun, and I appreciate you plugging the Obama deception. I hope folks will get the DVD at Infowars.com. They're authorized to make copies of it and give it to people, because after the IRS check I just signed, because they've gotten rid of so many of the loopholes and things even for business and the depreciation schedule, that I'm basically broke right now. So I hope folks will go to Infowars.com. I'm sure you had fun just paying the private Federal Reserve. Plug some of your stuff. Plug your book.
Yeah, Alex, I got nothing to plug here. In my show, I got some books.
Take it. It's yours. My shirt.
But let me just...
You want everything here? Take my watch.
Alex, I am pleased to pay taxes, and because I consider taxes to be the price of admission in a civil society. I want there to be police who are protecting my home. I want the fire department to show up. I think that we need to have a good public education system. I'd like to have a good national health care system. I'm sick and tired of seeing people like Bill McGuire take $1 billion paycheck from United Healthcare.
Most of the money goes to corporate welfare. That's what the right's got wrong. They think corporations are perfect and have done no wrong. Meanwhile, it's all corporate welfare, 30 to 1, and the 1%. I mean, cities.
Well, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're singing my song, but I, my point is that's. The taxes aren't the issue, but let's pick up some phone calls here and see what Rita in Los Angeles. Let's do on K-Talk in L.A. Hey, Rita.
Yes, I'm so encouraged of the simulcast, because I've been saying for years that the right puts out the truth so the left won't touch it on certain listener-sponsor radio stations. And there's power in numbers, and if there's a coalition like what you two are doing right now, I think the People's Movement has a much better chance of bringing strength into affecting the decisions made in Washington. And I would like to request that the two of you do a regular simulcast, if you could fit it into your schedules, just like, Tom, you do Brunch with Bernie.
Yeah, okay. Rita, thank you very much. We have Senator Sanders on every week. Alex, let me just say, you said thank you for endorsing the Obama deception. I'm not endorsing the Obama deception, but I want to make it clear.
Thank you for plugging it. Thank you for plugging it.
Okay. Because I think that there are some great things in there, and I do agree with you that people should watch it. Although when you get to your conclusion, I mean, there are, and I'm not going to go through them one by one, but there are a bunch of areas where I think that we could have a very interesting discussion about our disagreements. You have any calls there? You got a caller you want to toss up, or shall I pick up another one? We always
have unlimited phone calls, but I'm down here in Texas. They're up in Minnesota. I just asked the guy for calls. I just opened it up, and so they're giving me calls right now. Go ahead and go to your next call.
All righty. Anthony in Anaheim, California. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Alex. I don't have so much of a question as I just wanted to, first of all, state my appreciation for you having this, both of you. Tom, I've listened to you for the past about 4 years religiously every day, and Alex, I was part of the two parties, the movement. I was part of the money bomb with Ron Paul. I go to your website.
It's really Ron Paul who started this thing, the Tea Parties, in the modern incarnation.
And then now first it was started by 9/11 Truth, then Ron Paul picked up on it, and now Sean Hannity and Becky Pooh and these corporate minions have hijacked it. But by the way, I've been at Willie Nelson's house while he's had you on in the While he's been, had you on in the background listening to you. One time I showed up at Willie's house and he had you on in the background. I just wanted to say that.
That's great. One of my heroes. I love Willie Nelson. He's amazing. Okay, Brian in Fort Lauderdale. Excuse me, Brian. You're on with Alex Jones and me. PrisonPlanet.com, Infowars.com, ThomHartmann.com.
Tom, thank you so much for taking my phone call. Yeah, I think it's great that you guys are doing this simulcast.
It's guaranteeing that neither one of us is ever going to get a national TV show. That's what it's doing.
That's true. Yeah, I listen to both of you on a regular basis. I wanted to say something to Alex, because I can never get into his show. See, Alex, I think your show's great. I really enjoy listening to you. I agree with a lot that you talk about. But one problem that I have is that you use a lot of sensationalism and fear hype to, I don't know, kind of promote your show or yourself. I don't know what it is. But one example is your claim of how the New World Order is going to eliminate 80% of the world population. And you cite Bill Joy's article on why the future doesn't need us.
Well, I cite a bunch of articles. Okay, go ahead.
I've read that article numerous times. Don't see any mention of anything like that. I wish you would back some of your claims up better.
Oh, okay.
Brian, good start. Alex, you're suggesting that there's a plot to eliminate 80% of the world population?
Yeah, let me comment on this. My film, Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, has all the quotes. He takes out of context one thing I mention as evidence of the elite saying that they're having discussions about should they go ahead and just get rid of all of us because they don't need us anymore because of robotics and systems like that. So that's what I was talking about there. Now, State Department memorandum under Richard Nixon with Henry Kissinger says we'll use State Department Memorandum 200, will use IMF and World Bank money to make India and Peru and others sterilize half their women or they don't get money. That's on record. Then the 1996 UN Biological Diversity Assessment.
But hang on just a second, Alex. Let's assume that all that's true. They're working against their own best interests. You know what happened after the Black Plague in Europe was the Renaissance.
The Renaissance,
It created a middle class because when you reduce the size of the labor force, you drive up the cost of labor.
They didn't have robotics and robotic fleets, and the whole military is converting over to robotic tanks and aircraft. They don't even need the soldiers.
It's not enough. Let me toss out an alternative conspiracy theory, and that is that the anti-birth control movement around the world is part of the keep us all enslaved by jacking up the population to the point where
Tom, you're absolutely right, but it's more sophisticated. And I understand with an audience here, we've got to not dumb it down, but simplify it for time. Okay, but yes, you're right. If you read the British Royal Commission on Population, Commission 1944 to 49, a 5-year study commissioned by the British government, they say that. They say we want to stop birth control in the third world so that they use up all their resources and don't industrialize to threaten us. And that was one school of thought that was done. Then you have another eugenicist school of thought, which is hyper-dynamic, and it's the most powerful.
Well, maybe they'll cancel each other out.
No, that's basically what's happening, and it's causing needless destruction. But no, you're right. There is actually a conspiracy. We conspire to do this simulcast. Conspiring is just people talking and two people planning something. So look. Dr. Eric Pianka at UT says he wants 90% of us to die, and the issue is he gets standing ovations. This has been on the news when he says he can't wait for 90% of us to die. Yeah. So my whole issue is that there is a dominant idea of eugenics that metastasides into crypto eugenics after World War II. That is the dominant system in scientific thought in our society, that humans are parasites and bad, and we need to get rid of the humans. And then that gives the globalist, the head of the CFR, wrote in 1991 for the Club of Rome, Richard N. Haas, he said, we're going to use fake terrorism as one pincer to control the public and fake environmentalism as the other. Am I saying there isn't fish die-offs, the trees being cut down, toxic waste dumping, real environmental?
I think you're pushing the edges here, Alex. I think you're pushing the edges. But but like I said, on both sides, let's move along here. Scott in Portland, you got something to say to us.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, taxes basically are rent on our infrastructure. without our infrastructure, none of those rich people would have made.
You're not even listening to my point. My point is that it doesn't go to infrastructure because criminal elites, like in the Soviet Union and in the United States, always come in and get control of it, and they're destroying our infrastructure. They have tax incentives to move offshore that both parties support. Well, and by the way, I've got loaded phones if you want me to go to some too. Go ahead.
Sure, yeah. Well, let me just put a punctuation mark on that, and that is that we have this is